Hey everybody, so welcome to another installment of the IronHike podcast series. Today we have with us a special guest, John Murphy, who is a three-time Iron hiker. He's registered for October, and he's going to share a little bit of his story with us. Of course, we have Scott Festa, the first and only Olympus Mons non-finisher, and then the first and only Olympus Mons finisher in just over 60 hours. On the phone, we have Cliff Anders, one of the co-founding members of the crew. And over there to the left in what looks like, was that Alice in Wonderland, or what is that? Little Red Riding Hood? Is Dan Allen, also the first Denali finisher of an IronHike series. So I'm John Kolker, and I'm pleased to have with us today John Murphy. So before we get started, let me go ahead and show some cool photographs of John at the spring event. So let me navigate to that real quick. And we'll go here to, let's see, photos for spring. We come down to John's name. And there he is. Can you guys see this?
Not yet. We're still on the main page.
Okay, here, I'll share this tab right here. Okay, here we are. Can you see those?
Mm-hmm.
All right. There he is pointing the way. That's a great picture of you at the summit. Getting some well-needed massage therapy at the summit again. That's the little fellow you were talking about, right?
Yes, Adam, yes.
Okay. And there's some family members and Dan at the summit. That's you and Chuck, right? You're going to talk a little bit about him in your yeah. There you guys are heading back down. So with that, I'm going to unshare and we'll set the table for the rest of the conversation. So with that, I'm going to go off camera here real quick. And so, John, tell us a little bit about endurance sport, endurance activities, what it's meant for you, and kind of your backstory on how you got interested in doing, long distance trekking, etc.
No, certainly. Thank you very much, guys. It's great to see those that are on camera and those that aren't. It's great to hear your voice, Cliff, as well. So, again, thank you guys for having me on. It's truly, a great opportunity for me to share, why I got involved with IronHike Endurance. It was something that I'll be perfectly very transparent is. I didn't know about you guys until my good buddy, my friend, Chuck King, decided that he was going to surprise me with my 50th birthday gift to sign me up for a kick your butt event. And I said, man, how is this celebrating our 50th? And he says, it's not. You're celebrating your 50th. So you have to do this, sucker. However, what I will say is that it's growing up. There have been some very challenging, episodes and events in my life throughout my 50 years now, and actually recently just turned 51. What I will say, though, is that through all of those challenges, I found that being outdoors and challenging yourself to your own physical, mental, and emotional challenge every single day allows you to grow as an individual and develop into a better human being. And what better way to do that is than to be outdoors in nature, feel the presence of the weather, no matter if it's good, bad, or indifferent. The tenacity and the will to want to complete a lot of these things is on your own time and your own terms. And it's a great lesson to give to yourself. Knowing that no matter how hard challenges are in your life, when you're in society, there's nothing really that you cannot overcome so long as you're willing to put in the time and the effort and understand the next step and what the next step needs to be. Sometimes you have to blindly follow others, and other times you have to discover your own route to get to your goal, whether that's to summit Mohawk Mountain 12 times, 24 times in a certain time period, no matter what it is. It's just a great metaphor for life in general.
Yeah, thank you for that. So you have, it seems that you have a story of healing as well, that doing endurance events, although this one was for your 50th birthday, that you've embraced those sort of things for healing, right? And I know that Chuck has a similar story. Chuck's been using exercise and fitness and wellness in some sort of healing journey as well, right? And you guys have been helping each other along.
No, absolutely. And it just goes to show us, or maybe not show us, but remind us, right? It's everyday life produces many challenges because there's so many people that want so many different things out of us. And then we never take the time to find out what we want out of ourselves. We're always trying to please others, right? What I try to tell people also, we're all cons. We're either a contributor or we're a consumer. So at any given time, we have to decide what type of con we want to be. I strive to be a contributor as often as possible. And Chuck and I, we grew up together, went to high school together. We graduated. He went off to the Marine Corps, and I went off to try this experimental thing called college, and hoping at that time that it would fail, because then I was headed to the Air Force myself. However, I found peace in being in a college campus, and that's where I work today, on a college campus as well. I get to work with the young people that are really looking to discover themselves and find out who they are. So I do relate a lot for my personal experiences with others as well. And Chuck and I reconnected probably about 15 years ago, and not quite inseparable, but we've leaned on each other for the last 15 or so years, just realizing and understanding that we have changed and grown so much throughout those gap years that we didn't see each other. And Chuck was going through some personal things that he also needed to kind of explore the world and see things differently. So he and I started hiking the Appalachian Trail here in Connecticut, and then many other trails in the Connecticut and New England area as well. And through that, through IronHike and through a few other things, and because of his military connection, he was able to connect with Second Go, Paul Ledke, who was a special guest on another one of your podcasts. And incidentally, Paul Ledke and I have a previous connection as well. So it was nice to be able to reconnect with Paul, and we've Chuck and I have been able to also participate in many of the Second Go events that Paul also hosts and sponsors throughout Connecticut also.
Yeah, shout out to Second Go. They're our partner charity, and they are a veterans organization and first responder, and they do really good work in Connecticut, and they are our primary #1 charity. And so there's a link on the website to donate. Every registration, we prompt people to donate, and they show up. He's going to show up here in 2 weeks, a week and a half, and he'll have a tent, and he'll be giving away stuff and raffling stuff and helping out. And I think he's participating as well. So tell us about. Thank you for that. Tell us about your IronHike experience. Like you went to the inaugural event. You came in June. You guys are getting ready to come in October. So, describe for someone who hasn't done one. Like, walk us through it. Tell us, tell us about it. Like, what was your impression of it?
Well, look, my impression the first time was, what am I getting into, right? Because of the rain out we had in the October event, your inaugural event, the numbers were probably smaller than we all anticipated. However, that did not deter a single one of us. I firmly believe that was a great opportunity for that small group of individuals who showed up there. And look, they weren't all athletes, right? Endurance athletes or any other type of triathlon athletes. They were moms and fathers and moms with their kids there participating. And I thought that was great. They signed up as a relay team. So it is a truly great opportunity for an individual, for couples, for friends, for families to get out and push their own boundaries, but also be there to support their loved ones or their partner to conquer a challenge that nobody ever thought that they can do it. I witnessed a lot of individuals that pushed themselves way past the limits that I think if there were not folks like you guys and other participants encouraging each other as we pass each other up the hill or coming down the hill. And that's the one thing that's is super positive, is there's not a single person that isn't cheering you on and isn't encouraging you to keep going. And Scott himself, for the many miles and loops that he was trying to do, he always stopped and spoke to us every trip and made sure that we were all doing good still.
I'm going to tell you, all right, during that first one, every person that I was like when you're going up and you're going down and you're passing each other, every person I was like, okay, they're still in it. They're still happy. I've got nothing. I've got to keep going. Like every time, right? Every time. And I was like, if that guy's got a smile on his face, if that lady's got a smile on his face, if that kid has a smile on his face, I got to have one on my face as well. I got to do it. Right. To your point of being outside, I find that I'm a better person when I'm outside. You know, one of my dreams is to go be a ridge runner on the Appalachian Trail for one season. You know, I just don't know when that's going to happen, but just a better person when I'm outside. And I said it before, like there's this shared sacrifice or this shared suck or shared suffering, and you're going up and down and it's just raining and it's just nasty weather. And you look at someone in their eyes and we're both thinking, yeah, we're here. What have we done?
Yeah.
We'll keep going. And you don't even have to say a word. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to mute myself now. But yeah, to your point, 100%.
So
yeah, and go ahead, John.
I remember so that was late September of last year. We've been at this for a calendar year. It's been about a year. There's an anniversary coming up where we actually stepped foot on our first venue at Mohawk, and the calendar year's coming up, the anniversary. And I think we had 30 people registered, and about 16 of them were my friends and family. And so, you know, we decided to launch the inaugural no matter what, rain or if 10 people show up. And I don't know if you know this, but we started the business in May. So it was October, it was May, it was May, June, July, August, September, and then boom, the event series. There was almost no time to market it, no time. We decided that we would cut teeth quick and that we would do it no matter what in the first year. And we learned so many lessons in that first year. And you two guys were the first guys. You texted me, you called me, you're like, where can we park? There was no place to camp. Like there was a lake at base, and there was no place to set up tents. And you guys were just really good sports about it. You came in. I think you went away that night and came back in the morning because you couldn't camp there. And you still showed up, and you put your bib on, and you got your trekking poles on, and we rang the bell, and off you went. And it was small. And then in June of this year, it tripled in size. So we had about 38 people, of which maybe 10 people were friends and family, right? And a lot of people did a lot of relays, and you guys showed up, and that was a great experience. I think that, I'm not sure, but I think one of you bit off more than you could chew. I don't remember.
Yeah, no, admittedly, yes, one of us did. And so one half bit off more than we could chew, and the other half tried to pick up the pace for the other one.
But see, that's part of it, right? And like part of it is like knowing, okay, I showed up, this is really hard, and man, I'm probably not going to finish it. We had two guys show up that were 29 participants, and on about lap 8 or 9, I said to him, how's it going? They said, we're not going to finish. So what do you mean? He goes, we underestimated this. Like from the photographs, it looks flat. I'm like, no, this ain't flat. And he said, yeah, we thought it was, 600 feet of elevation and 0.6 miles, easy peasy. And I'm like, yeah. So the point is, though, they did their thing. They did as much as they could. There's plenty of stories in June of people showing up and doing as much as they could and still going home, not necessarily happy with themselves, but happy with the experience. And feeling good about, I'm going to go home and get ready, or I'm going to go get set for the next one, or I'm going to set better expectations for myself. And in Scott's case, from the inaugural till June, I'm going to have a better plan, and I'm going to keep my feet dry and not hike through a lake every lap. Yeah, but no, that was great. And you guys are coming out again, right? So what advice could you give to anyone who's thinking about signing up and coming to join us?
Look, I mean, if you've got a group of golf buddies or you got a group of buddies that you like to hang out with, this is a great alternative team effort or new experience that I firmly believe will give life-changing experiences to you as an individual, but also as friends, right? You really build a connection. You build a connection with people that you've just met as well, because we're all there. We've got this emotional and spiritual connection when we're out there trying to challenge ourselves. And it is a great experience that I firmly believe that everybody should at least attempt it once in their life. And once they do it, they're going to have this appetite to continue to challenge themselves, because it really is a truly rewarding experience after you are done. Receiving that cookie, receiving that medal, and the finisher's cap. They're small tokens of completion, but they are just huge monikers of the challenge that you have just overcome. And if you think you're looking for that experience, sign up. If you don't think you're looking for that experience, sign up, because you never know what you're looking for until you experience it. And you need to experience it to really understand if it's for you or not for you. And the other thing is, look, if you're not from New England, be prepared for the weather, especially October, because we potentially could get all 4 seasons within that same day or within that same afternoon as well. Plan appropriately. Make sure you have plenty of hydration and food and supplements. Temperatures will get below freezing because we are up in elevation as well, so it'll be chilly in the evening. But bring your lights, bring backup of everything that you have. Cotton. Anything that touches your body, make sure it's cotton. Anything else, you will be ending your trek fairly early, I believe, as Scott has experienced in the past.
Cotton kills, and so.
But I was going to say earlier, and then you touched on it, was the ever changing. You never know what's there. The first one, we got rained out, like 6 inches of rain, like a couple days before we just got rained out. The second one, hot, right?
Yep, it was really hot. Yep.
Hiking at night was paramount. That's what saved my bacon. This one, it's gonna be cold.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna be cold. If you have any patches to sew on, you get to sew them on with white thread, because it's gonna be cold.
It is.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah. And the other thing I also want to highlight is the family that runs Mohawk Mountain. I feel they do a great job of prepping the course for us, making it as safe yet still treacherous as possible, to ensure that it's good for everybody, and it's a challenge. And then also, you guys put medical personnel on the course, and they're there 24 hours a day to support us in any capacity. And both experiences so far, we've not had to utilize them, which has been a fantastic thing to know as well. Look, you guys have really done a great job putting a phenomenal program together, and it will catch on. Once more people get involved, and once more people start to see and feel the experience, it's people are really looking for the way society is right now, the way the world is right now. There's so much chaos and turmoil going on. What better way to get away from all that is to have no cell signal, no TV, no internet, just Mother Nature and a group of crazy people that want to push each other up and down that hill.
Yeah, there's the tribe experience is real. Like, you got a fire pit, you've got some food, you've got people around, everyone's talking to each other. There's very little cell phone reception, especially at the top and around base. It's a great experience. I feel like we have all these new friends already, and it's just going to get better. So I just want to point out that in 2025, we're creating a staggered start, all finish. Right now we have a all start and staggered finish.
Right.
Which means that the crowd dwindles as the days go by. As you know, it's a 4-day event series. Yep. That's going to really change the tribe mentality quite a bit, because every day more people are going to be showing up and getting on the mountain, to the point where everyone crescendos at a 7 p.m. finish on Sunday, and everybody's helped everyone get to that. And that's going to be phenomenal. And that starts in June of 2025. But we're excited about October, John.
Exciting.
We have a lot of growth. There are, I believe there's 7 people trying Olympus Mons.
Wow.
Yeah, and
Wow.
4 of them are in a relay, and right now 3 of them are individuals. That's the event that Scott finished in just over 60 hours.
And I honestly think that I would be surprised if my time stands, right? Because they're going to be real athletes out there doing it.
Oh, you're a real athlete, Scott.
No,
don't give yourself
all records are meant to fall, and kudos to whoever breaks them, because they're all meant to fall. And if that's if my whatever pushes someone else to do better, and then that pushes someone else to do, I hope it falls. I hope it falls this time.
We have some hiking royalty coming. His name is Quadzilla, and
yes,
he is a single season calendar year triple crowner. Did the PCT, the CDT, and the AT in one calendar year. And he said to me, in a direct message, I don't know if I could do Scott's 60 hours. And so he's already cranking in his head, what's it going to take to beat you? So that's kind of fun. Look, and on the other end of the spectrum, like this isn't a race, right? So the fastest known time, that's just a courtesy thing that we do for this really hard thing, arguably maybe the hardest ultra in the world in terms of elevation profile. Nobody has 73K of elevation. The closest thing is the Barkley Marathons, and they're at 60K, but it depends on what course they pick each year. But on the other end of the spectrum, we've got a lot of people coming just for the day. We have a lot of people sharing the 15-mile event. But here's something really interesting. We have double-digit registrations for individual Everest. That's the 61-miler. And that's the one where we're in the same space with other companies that are notably 29029. So that's really a big growth area for us, is this individual 72-hour event. And I'm even going to give it a try. So I've been training for it. And see, my hat's kind of run down, right? So I need a new hat. And so I thought the best way to do it would be to do Everest. Oh, hey, Cliff. And
Cliff.
my orange hat. Hey, Cliff, you've been quiet throughout. Look at that. How are you? So, Dan and Cliff, you didn't get much chance to chime in. Anything you guys like to add about your experience with John?
I see Scott's yellow hat. So I see.
That was the original.
Yeah, I'll never wash it. I don't wash them.
Yeah, it's got sweat salt in it.
Yep.
Cliff, real quick, share with us a little bit of your memories of the John and Chuck experience.
Oh, the pair was unforgettable. Especially the one thing I remember is when they started in the beginning, and we were, our setup was really awesome for the beginning, and then your background right now is the summit, and I remember tooling up to the summit from the side road and catching them coming up the hill, and just sitting there, watching the reactions of the people as they come up, and then and him and Chuck coming up, and I was like, man, it's pretty awesome. What they were gushing with compliments first off, and the other thing was, the experience on the mountain. Just the experience being just almost exactly the way he said it was. Getting to that place and seeing it, knowing a little bit about the history of it, how we started the event off, that was fantastic for me. Was the little bit of ceremony that we had in the beginning, and then the different types of athletes that you have on the mountain together, all together in one track. Pretty cool. So, and meeting John and Chuck was fantastic, because now we're friends on Facebook and we get to talk about these events, and you've been to every one, and it's awesome. So I was there in spirit with the national anthem at the last one. So this time it's going to be in person again. So
yeah, I'm looking forward to it, because first of all, you got a powerful voice, so it wasn't the same without you there live and in person.
We did have a recording of it, and it went pretty well. But we're excited to have you sing the national anthem. And Dan's going to summit the colors for us again. We're going to try to give him enough time to get up there before the first mountain athlete catches him.
Yeah, that's looking forward to it, Dan. So you better beat your first time with that flag.
I beat you guys up there last time. I'll try my best. I was booking it though. You guys were coming quick.
All right, then.
Well, because I have to say we were very excited because we were finally able to get on that mountain after all that rain, and we just wanted to experience what did we all sign up for? I mean, how did these crazy people get together and try to walk up a hill in a muddy slope?
Hey, so in June, like in general, like what do you think the hardest thing is about the event series?
Again, I think weather and the conditions that you're walking through have a lot, right? So if in the fall, it's the grass is still fairly tall, but if it's wet, your legs are going to get wet. Your feet, your socks, your shoes, your pants are going to be wet. So plan accordingly. Have multiple changes of either leggings or pants, shoes definitely, and socks as well. Because when you do 2 or 3 and then you realize, okay, myself, I was when I finally was comfortable to leave Chuck kind of on his own, and I just kind of separated myself so I would kind of advance to see my personal, because then I took myself away from Chuck a little bit because I wanted to push myself for my personal limit. And then I realized I could get up the hill in 22 minutes and down in 8 minutes. So I could average about 28 minutes up and down. I thought that was pretty phenomenal. I wasn't sure if I could keep up at that pace, which I started to do. And I think that may have also been the reason why Chuck said, "Oh, look, I can't keep up with John. He's just exceeding me," right? And that's when I also realized, okay, look, we signed up together because this was my vow to him, was that I would be there to support him. Again, this stemmed from the other challenges that he was facing through his personal experiences. And I let him know that, look, I'll be there by his side, by his shoulder, behind him or ahead of him, but never out of touch or out of reach. And when he finally said, "Look, you know what? I'm holding you back. You need to go." And I want to say, well, there was probably 4 treks, and it wasn't until the 5th one up, and I said, "Are you sure?" And then he said, "No, absolutely." He said, "Look, I'm holding you back, and you need to get going." And when I started to doing that, and then when we finally saw each other at the bottom afterwards, he says, "Wow, I never realized how much determination you could muster up to do it." And I shared with him. I said, "Chuck, there has not been a single experience in this life that I was not ready for that challenge." And to this day, I still believe that. I live by that credo every single day. I will never walk away or turn my back on a challenge until I've at least tried it. Right. And that's what most people in the world today, they give up before they start. And I just tell people, don't give up. You got to get out there and do it, because you never know what you will discover about yourself until you expose yourself.
Yeah, I appreciate that, and you sharing that with us. One of the things that we tried to do, this group of guys here and a couple of other folks that have helped us along the way, is we wanted to create something that could challenge everybody and anybody that can walk, right? And so you have some people who are extreme athletes like Quadzilla, folks like Scott, who it's no big deal to do a 50-mile day on the AT, for example. Those folks, it's hard to challenge them, but Olympus Mons was designed for them. That's a challenge. That's really hard. Even Quadzilla is afraid of that, right? At the same time, you've got folks like my wife and her friends. They're in their 50s. They're older ladies. They're not super fit, but they like exercise. And they can do that 4-person 15-mile relay. They're each doing about a 5K. They're doing 3 laps up and down. And it's a fun day. It's hard. For them, it's hard. For Nancy, that's super hard. For Quadzilla, that would be a joke, right? But for Quadzilla, Olympus Mons is super hard. And it's all happening at the same time, on the same mountain, within the same group of people, all at the same venue. And so that's what I think differentiates us quite a bit from anything else, is that there literally is something for everyone. And Scott said it best. He said, there's something for every shape and size on the mountain. on the mountain. So
It's absolutely true. And I got to tell you, one of the other best experiences with the night hiking is listening to nature sounds as you're going up that hill, because it does get very quiet other than your breath, or, if you're listening to your own breath, heavy breathing, but to hear owls and to hear crickets and some of the other animals. And I think we had coyotes howling, I think, more than half the night. Also, way in the distance, so they're not on the mountain bike. So please, nobody be scared that the coyotes are going to come attacking us.
Actually.
So, and again, you can really appreciate what is out there in the world, because when we're in our homes and we're busy doing everything that we're trying to do to stay alive or support our families, we really do miss on some of the most beautiful things that Mother Nature has for us.
Yeah, man. And Mohawk's beautiful, as you can see behind me. It doesn't look like a high mountain when you pull up. Looks like just a ski slope hill, but when you get up there, you can see for miles, and it's very beautiful. And the people on the first day are going to finish around sunset or a little bit thereafter. So everyone's going to get to see a sunset, unless there's the R word, which I won't say out loud. I don't like. We don't say the R word around here. But no, appreciate your time today, John and team, and we'll go ahead and end the podcast, and I'll make this available on YouTube. So appreciate you guys very much. John, do you want to close?
Thank you.
Any closing statement or anything?
Look, guys, I appreciate you guys. I've known you guys almost a year now. But I'll be very honest with you. Chuck and I talk about this. I feel like we've known you guys our lifetime. And that's also the other experience that I think is critical for folks to know. You do create some new friendships and bonds with people that will support you no matter what. So I appreciate every single one of you guys, and I look forward to this next challenge, and I look forward to future challenges that you guys will come up with as well.
Yeah, we'll see you in just under 2 weeks on the mountain.
Yes, sir.
All right then. Thanks, everybody.
Hey, before we go, I'd like to point out, Dan, we could not get a word in edgewise because you wouldn't shut up.
On that note, oh my God.
Hi, Dan. Nice having you, John.
All right. Much love to you guys. Bye.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate all of you. Be well.
Right on. All right, Scott, have a good one. I thought everyone's going to stay on after the recording stopped.
I'm trying to find the there it is. There's the hang up button. Trying to look for it, man. You doing good?
Yeah, man, pretty good.
Good. I'll see you out there on the mountain.
Then about to a week and a half.
Something like that.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. We'll be there. Have a good
All
one.
right, boss. Later on.
Bye-bye.